Hi, everybody. Alright, so we've all been wondering what all those nice white vehicles were for with the machine gun tops and all the ambulances and everything else we've been seeing moved around the country involving the United Nations, right? Right. Now, it could be nothing, could be something, could be this, it could be nothing. However, there's something afoot. Now, I got this from the BBC, and basically what it says is the United States government went to the United Nations and basically said, could you help us with our refugees? And so they volunteered their services to basically set up a presence in the U.S. to help with the refugees. Now, I don't know exactly what problems that would be or anything else, but this is basically the talk. This is coming from BBC, and it says, U.S. turning to UN over flow of Central American migrants. So, whether it's the Islamic refugees or the Central American refugees, America has gone to the United Nations over the refugee issue, which means one and one thing only, that eventually we will start seeing these guys in our area. I live in an area where I don't see anything anyways. So this isn't really going to affect me or probably most of the United States that doesn't live in the big cities. So, anyways, folks, the UN High Commission for Refugees will set up processing centers for people to apply for resettlement in the region. The centers will be located in several Central American countries. Over 68,000 unaccompanied children were apprehended by U.S. immigration in 2014. Violence and epidemic poverty in several Central American countries have been driving migrants north to the U.S. Refugees cannot make applications for relocation while in their home country, so they must travel to neighboring countries to apply for relocation to a third country. The hope in the processing centers would be to provide at least temporary safety, and asylum claims basically would be processed and would mean people being relocated to other countries other than the U.S. as well as the U.S. So there's a lot here. And, you know, there's all sorts of things. We've all heard about the 120 immigrants that were raided for deportation in New York this weekend. All heard about President Obama's final statement in the Union address on Tuesday. More than 140 House Democrats signed a letter urging the administration to halt the raids. The officials speaking to BBC and others of the UN plan was not to react to this basically for months because none of them really had a game plan. So there's a bunch here. Mentions El Salvador, mentions Congress ultimately approving a $700 million budget in December for next December. Goes on to a whole bunch of other things, folks. So you get the idea here, folks. I mean, why they're focusing on the Central American refugees now is because we have basically no southern border. And we basically want the UN to probably come in and handle all our refugee problems. Now, if I was them, what I would do is I would handle it myself. Our U.S. military has, humanitarian groups, as in their National Guard groups that do this sort of thing all the time, or at least do it in other countries. So to say that we're going to do it in the U.S. would be appropriate. And then we move parts of our National Guards together to form up these groups in other countries to handle these processing centers. It's actually quite a good idea. In fact, what I would do is I would take all my police cadets and I'd say, guess what you are for 6 months? You are in El Salvador, you are in Chile, you are in Brazil, you are in Mogadishu, you are in... and just put them in random spots where we're doing all this refugee processing. You are in Syria, you are in Iraq. You want to be law enforcement? This is a beginning for you. That's what I would do. And I'd merge. I've always talked about merging the military and the police. They would always be separate, but I would have no problem sending our police internationally. I would have absolutely no problem doing it because I know where you send them and what you send them to do, versus what you send the military to do. So I would have absolutely no problem sending locals and federals to other countries to do this. I mean, FBI goes to these countries all the time to vet these guys. DHS does it. Why not have everybody in the community basically do 6 months overseas with Greenpeace as part of their 18th birthday package or something? You know, do 2 years abroad. Well, they can do 6 months more in some country or another as a police officer. I'd have no problem doing that. Lots of countries do it, and as long as it's in a peaceful manner and everything, great. Thank you.